Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Alright, so welcome to my channel. Today I don't have an introduction because apparently someone was home when I was making this, but I am using a page kit I made up using the Paige Evans line for pink paisley. I don't remember which line it is though. It could be Turn the Page or the line that came right after Turn the Page, which I can never remember the name of. But anyways, it is an older Paige Evans line. So the only paper I have for this layout is the 12 by 12 pink tone-on-tone piece that I'm using for my background, and then this one here that has the yellow ombre sequins on one side and the cut apart border strips and these little squares I'm cutting apart right now on the B side. I'm also going to be using these felt doilies. These are from Recollections. I actually got these as a gift from my secret sister at Heather's Crafty Life retreat in October 2018, and they are gorgeous. They are from Recollections, so they're from Michael's, and I just love them. I think this is the third layout I've used them on. I'm actually going to use all of them up. So, I mean, yay, I used something up, but you know, aw, I really, really liked these. So, what I've got going on is kind of like what I call a wonky grid. Excuse me. Just ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I'm a little phlegmy. There you go. A little too much information for you guys. So, I like to line things up, but then every once in a while, I like for something to overlap. So I've got that cluster going on in the upper right-hand corner that I'm just replacing the paper on right now. I needed something lighter there. So it's the same paper, but because it was an ombre, I was able to choose a lighter piece. So I've got that cluster going on over there. And then I've got pretty much everything lined, so everything is nestled together. But then every once in a while, I'll overlap something. Like right now, that purple tag at the top is overlapped. It's actually not going to stay there, but that's just what I do when I do a grid the majority of the time. Sometimes I will do a straightforward grid where it's all lined up but nothing touches, but majority wise, I prefer a grid where something overlaps. And that's just a personal choice. It's the way my mind likes to see things. So it's just a matter of what works for you. So right now I'm happy with the upper right hand corner. I'm almost happy with the upper left-hand corner, and I'm pretty good with what's going down at the bottom, with the exception of the fact that I don't like what's going on over on the left-hand side of the photo. I'm not happy with it. I don't, there's that weird gap, and it's just not working for me. I do know I want to use this multicolor strip of hearts, so I'm going to move things around, see where that might work. There's going to be a lot of stuff on this layout. I've often said that I either use a lot of layers or I use a lot of embellishments. So you'll see here in this layout, I've only got the photo layered on one piece of paper, so I'm going to throw all of the embellishments onto the page. So I move that dark teal doily down, and now I've layered a sticker and a die cut on top of it, and now I'm much happier with where it is. So I think I'm going to get my alphabet. I have been thinking about what to use for a title for this. The story is, if I don't know if you can see in the photo or not, but we are standing in front of the um, little display they had at the movie theater for the Avengers Endgame. And so this particular layout happens to be about how we have seen all of the Marvel movies in the theater. This is the last one of this um, set of movies they're talking about from over the past 10 years. So I was just talking about how we had seen them all and talking about, you know, trying to figure out what the right title was going to be when I finally decided I'm just going to go with Endgame because it kind of has meaning twofold, both being the title of the movie and also just being an ending. And even though there are been more, there was another Spider-Man movie afterwards, and there's other movies and TV shows coming out, if you're someone who enjoys Marvel movies and nerds out about reading about them, you'll note that this was considered an ending of type of for this genre, for this set of movies. Oh my goodness, I have forgotten how to speak. I apologize. I just kind of went total ramble nerddom there. I very much apologize for that. Sorry, guys. All right, so here's where I'm starting to actually glue stuff down, and here's where I decide to move that purple tag over to the other side. It was just there was too much weight there at the top, and but matching it up with that bright blue doily just kind of stretches the weight out so it's not super heavy all up in that corner. So as you can see, a lot of it is just adjacent. Everything nestles into something. And then occasionally, if something overlaps, like the upper right-hand corner, I've got a couple of things that overlap over there. On the bottom right-hand corner with the doilies, I have things overlapping. So this is what I talk about it being a wonky grid. So rather than everything being lined up and everything, I have stuff that layers over everything. I really love the colors in this line. I'm partial to the color teal. I own and wear a lot of it. One thing to note, if you're going to use felt, you do need to use quite a bit of adhesive. You'll see this shows through. First of all, I'm going to cover it with a die cut and a sticker. Also, this is the Art Glitter Clear Glue. It does dry clear. So it doesn't matter that it's showing white right now. When it dries, it will dry completely clear, even through the doily, through the felt. That's what I meant to say. All right, so I've got everything glued down. What I am doing is I'm adding some liquid glue to the stickers that have been on a piece of wax paper simply because the wax paper does take away a little bit of the stick. I also am adding a dimensional adhesive to the portion of the sticker or the die cut that isn't over the doily. Both at the bottom there and then also at the top, I'm going to add that coral round sticker there, and I'm going to do the same thing with the dimensional, and those are Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I like those a lot because they're very thin, so it's nice to give just a little bit of dimension without being a full quarter-inch off the paper. And for some reason I don't like it to be super thick. So I'm going ahead and I'm trimming off everything hanging off my page, and here's where I decide that the teal doily, I'm going to chop off a piece big enough that I feel I'm like, well, I love these doilies so much, I'm going to use it. And then I add it over on that left-hand side where I've been having my issues, and I am like, it's funny how just that little thing, that just one little embellishment, and all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, that looks 10 times better. Yay! All right, so I've got some phrase and word stickers that I'm going to add into that frame there down at the bottom. And like I said before, I'm just adding a little bit of liquid glue to it because the wax paper does take a bit of the stick out. All right, I am sort of close to the end here, I think. I've got a lot of little bits and pieces kind of going around, so I'm not quite to the end, but I am going to go ahead and add these enamel dots. And so I've been making all of these page kits. I'm working through a bunch of them through August and then into September. And then I'm also working on page kits that I'm going to bring to a crop I'm going to at the end of September. So before I finish off, I am going to use these three Heidi Swap color shines in Amethyst, Mint, and Hot Pink. I normally would use my Shimmers products. I actually prefer those to the Heidi Swaps, except in specific cases, and this time being, the Heidi Swap color shines give a more epoxy-esque finish. They have a bit more of a plasticky shine to them, almost like a very tiny, very flat enamel dot. So I know it sounds a bit bonkers, but it's what I see when I look at it. And in this case, I just wanted it to be a bit shinier than I would normally get from my shimmers products. So I'm looking at this thinking about if I need to add anything else. What I do when I'm thinking about that is I clean up and I just kind of look and I realize, haha, you have not done your journaling. So I grab this little label, and this is from Pretty Little Studio, and I'm just writing exactly what I told you about, how we've seen all the movies, and this is the final one in this little section of the Marvel Universe. So we decided to take a picture, and as always, when we're taking a selfie, we hand it off to the teenager because they do the selfies better than anyone. All right, folks, that is actually going to finish off my layout. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you could flick me a thumbs up, even though I nattered on and on, I would super appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.